How are you living with the label of sex offender?
Make me feel, misunderstood.
This guy who she's making out like it's such a positive story, this guy is a legit sex offender. He assaulted a girl.
9 months after being released,
This is
a
it.
chief has a new job, working as a dishwasher at a Michelin-starred restaurant.
His DNA was caught on her. This is all in the documentary. His DNA was on her.
A lot of times they've been hurt themselves, or they have trauma, or they've been lost.
Oh my God, this idiot is a psycho.
Not just treating the symptom of what they're coming in for, but looking at their whole lives. So looking at their trauma history, looking at their decision making.
Such a stupid documentary. I am actually offended by it. But the whole goddamn documentary is sympathetic to the guy. Here, let me play a little bit.
Have bad intentions, but they don't. A lot of times they've been hurt themselves, or they have trauma, or they've been lost.
My sentence, what it is. Like, there's no details, there's no nuance to it. Solicitation of a minor. Boom. Like, you scroll, there's your mugshot, there's your distinguished.
This whole documentary is about sex offenders, right? And it's sympathetic to the sex offenders because they have to be on a registry. So this whole documentary is like, why do we put their names? Why do we force them to put their names on a registry? And it's the stupidest goddamn documentary since the minute I started it. I can't believe I even watched the whole thing. It's so obnoxious. I mean, it's only 43 minutes. It's so obnoxious. It's 43 minutes, but the last 2 minutes is like an interview, which even looks more stupid because the fact that they're interviewing her and they're taking it seriously makes the whole organization look stupid and the guy look stupid. And then after that, they have a guy saying, please give money to Vice. We need money to do more content like this. This is the most offensive shit. Let's just watch this through to the end.
Features and your fucking address.
My offense, and with people just looking up or just seeing kind of that charge, sometimes it doesn't even say that mine's a misdemeanor. It just says sexual contact, no consent.
What does help look like for your clients?
Not just treating the symptom of what they're coming in for, but looking at their whole lives. So looking at their trauma history, looking at their decision making, looking at the different parts of themselves.
Why did you get into this work?
That's the girl who does the documentary. She's such a psycho.
Mental health.
It seems so rampant, prevalent. Like, who?
9 months after being released,
This is
a
it.
chief has a new job, working as a dishwasher at a Michelin-starred restaurant.
This is like the end of the documentary where they'd be like, things are looking up. She finally made it on his feet. He's working in a restaurant.
He also found a new apartment at a house run by a nonprofit.
That's a waste of money. This guy who she's making out like it's such a positive story, this guy is a legit sex offender. He assaulted a girl. His DNA was caught on her. This is all in the documentary. His DNA was on her. He goes, why do they think you did it? And he's like, oh, they said that she accused me, and then they did a DNA test. And he's like, no, he goes, the DNA test came back negative and they still put me in jail. So then she goes, gets the papers, the girl running the documentary. She's like, well, the papers say that it was verified by 3 different labs and it was your DNA. Your semen was on her thigh. They got to test the nut. When if they get your nut, and guys, remember this, if someone got your nut, they got you. You can track that back to you. Protect your nut. So anyway, while he was doing this, he nutted a little bit, whatever. They got the DNA, tracked it back to him. He comes back. She's like, it is your DNA. And then he goes, anyone who thinks that's my DNA doesn't know what DNA is. Oh my God, this idiot is a psycho. And then he says he never did it. Then she goes to the girl that he did it to, and she tells the girl, and the girl goes, he said he didn't do it? The girl was like, no, he did it. Like, I saw, like, it was me, and I saw him do it, and I picked and then I went, like, no, it was me. We were like, it was there. He did it. And then she starts crying that, like, he's pretending that he didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, she actually started crying in the interview. And it's like, why are you making this sympathetic thing?
Why did you decide to tell us your story?
There's a class of people in the system. Story need to be told. And just on a personal level.
Classic, I'm being oppressed. Because the white man has created a system that's going to put him on a registry. Listen, maybe I'm not watching this properly. Like, maybe she just made it in a way that's dumb and she got a bad example. And maybe the sex registry doesn't actually work. Still, I think people who work in compassionate prison reform are looking at this documentary and saying, this idiot just set us back 10 years. This documentary, that's how dumb her takes are. But let's just continue.
A lot took place. A lot was taken from you.
How are you living with the label of sex offender?
Make me feel, misunderstood. It doesn't represent me.
That's what the whole documentary is. The whole documentary is summed up right here. That's what he did. He fucking did it. The victim said he fucking did it. The DNA test, multiple labs says he goddamn did it. And then he's just like, no, I didn't do it. And I'm being oppressed. And the system is oppressing me. And I have no place to go.
That's your story.
It's
Sorry.
a class of people in the system. Story need to be told. And
Oh.
just on a personal level, you know, a lot took place. A lot was taken from you.
How are you living with the label of sex offender?
Make me feel, you know,
The label. He is. So maybe warn people before the guy comes around your house again. What the fuck, lady? What is this documentary about? He is. He goes, what do you say about people that said you sexually assaulted someone? That woman is in the movie and she said he did it. And the DNA test said he did it. He's the only idiot who says he doesn't do it, but everything else says he did it. All the proof leads to he did it. And then she goes, what do you feel about that label? You know, that label that people just made up that you're a sex offender. Are you crazy?
misunderstood.
That's the money face shot. Are you okay? You're sad? Is this sex offender sad today? Oh, sex offender. I'm so sad that sex offender sad. That's what the fuck. Oh, look at her dumb face. Why is she making this face? He's a legit sex offender. You talk to the girl and everything. I don't understand this documentary.
Represent who I am, but it don't change who I am. I'm not speaking on behalf of sex offenders.
She's so proud of him. She's like, yeah, speak for them. Stand up for them. Tell the whole community that, you know, that's enough. We've had enough. And we're going to stand up and we're going to demand our rights. And we deserve something. We're people too. What the fuck is she doing?
And I'm only speaking how it affected me.
Do you think that
Foolish. That's a sin. And I called you. Got you. Sinner. Got you. And you're thick as thieves. This idiot. What is she doing?
treatment or counseling plays any role?
And what?
Like helping people not reoffend, helping people get their lives back on track?
I believe counseling help people overcome whatever they're going through.
Have you found it easy to access counseling?
No, I'm actually on the wait list for counseling.
You're
I
on the
have a
wait.
process.
You're on the wait list for
Yeah.
counseling. How do you balance trying to start a new life and start fresh with the resentment that I imagine you feel for everything that's happened?
What are these questions? What are you saying to him? Why are you coddling him? Foolish. I'm saying this is absolutely foolish. Don't coddle him. He did a bad thing. He's not admitting that he even did it. He should be in jail still, at least on a registry, so that if he goes to a place, they can know that this guy did this and he wants to do it again. He could do it again. He's a goddamn psycho. But people need to know. I never thought I'd be on this side of it. And that's why I think anyone who's working in compassionate prison reform looks at this documentary and say, this idiot just set us back 20 years. That's how stupid this documentary is. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I ain't
I know this doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
got time for the resentment. Like life got to include every element, every different
What is she agreeing? I don't need time for the resentment.
scenario. And I accept mine.
Are you hopeful for your future?
Oh God. Her stupid face. Her stupid face on every shot. Like it's this beautiful story. Like, are you hopeful for the future? Do you think the future's bright? It's like a sketch character. Are you hopeful? Do you think the future's gonna be assaulting people? Probably. Or do you think that do you think you'll do it again? You feel like you want to do it again? Then maybe you'll go through the oppression all over again. What do you think? Does it look bright?
Sure.
I'm definitely hopeful.
What
I
an
like.
idiot.
With the resentment that I imagine you feel for everything that's happened.
What?
I ain't got time for the resentment. Like life got to include every element, every different scenario. And I accept mine.
Are you hopeful for your future?
I'm definitely hopeful.
It's
I like.
so disgusting. The whole documentary is like this. It's so cringy. Like you can watch this almost like The Room or something. It's so stupid. You can watch it with someone who has a sense of humor and it'll be like watching cringe watching. You know what I mean? Like watching The Room or watching like a really bad movie. Every dumb shot of her. She's like, what the government is doing to the sex offenders is making them put their name on a registry where if they're likely to commit the crime again, to let those people know to be warned about that they might do it again. Like that's how all her monologues are like that. And then she even does this thing where she brings up the data. She's like trying to catch them on the data. She did. You know what it is? This documentary, it's half of it's this kind of garbage. And then half of it is like bringing up data, but it doesn't even support your point. But then she still just talks about it like it supports her point. Like, for example, at one point she put up the data of like only 4% of sex offenders on a registry are recommitting their crimes. 44% of people who commit the crimes are new offenders. Doesn't that mean that the registry is not working? And it's like, no, the registry is working because only 4% of them are repeat offending versus 34% of the other population But she says that, and then she flips it and she goes, doesn't that mean that it's not even working? So the registry's not even working. Like only 4% of them are going to do it. So why have a registry? It's like, no, they're only 4% are doing it because there's a registry. She just says it however she wants. And then even when she brings up the other girl who's like, yeah, he did it, she still, at the end of that interview, just goes, well, I believe in his compassion. And I think that he needs, still, I don't think that a registry is the right move. Like something like that. Like they do include the part where he did assault the girl. 100% did it. The girl says he did it. DNA tested he did it. After interviewing the girl who said he did it, she just goes, I still believe in his right to not be on a registry. I still believe in his right.
The position I'm in, I ain't finna let
It's a conservative
stuff
nightmare.
stop me. Not even this, or DNA, or
It's just like she's just roused him into a motivational speech. Like, nothing's going to stop me. No, they can't put me in jail. DNA test, put my name on a registry. Still, I will do it. That's basically what this stupid speech is.
person's opinion. Like, we all out here in this world, and we all got to make it happen, and ain't nothing stopping me. So, like, I'm very hopeful and confident.
After this interview, Ashif sent a picture of his penis to our producer.
And this is why I think like this really is a mental health issue, because if he was in his faculties, he would not send a dick pic. He would send a text saying, hey, you want to hang out? And guaranteed these girls would have fucked him. Guaranteed. Look at this stupid interview. The dick pic even, they put it up. They're obviously not pressing charges. It's illegal to send a dick pic where he is. His lawyer had to message them back and be like, oh, he sent a dick pic by mistake.
He later said through his lawyer that he sent it by mistake. Cyber flashing is illegal in Chicago by city ordinance.
Being on parole and having a sex offense on your record means that you have to follow a lot of rules.
Aww.
Is this what you thought freedom would feel like?
I'm not free. I'm still in a system, and they control my life. They control where I can go, where I can't go,
Because
when I
you
can leave, when I can't
because you
leave.
sexually assaulted someone. I guess the point she's trying to make, which I do agree with, this part of it I do agree with. If someone did something wrong, you have to rehabilitate them, not punish them. The punishment we think is working as a deterrent, but according to the loving kindness teachings, it's an illusion. It's not really working as a deterrent. Well, it's doing some percentage of it, less, I think. The bigger deterrent is positive rehabilitation. That's what it is. That's the real thing to do. Now, okay, compassionate jail is more like you rehabilitate as much as you can, but it doesn't mean like if they're psychos, you just let them out on the street. You put them away, but the putting them away and even the way that you let them out is not based on hurting them. It's based on rehabilitating them. Dead time.
Thanks, Alice, and to your whole team for this report. I think it raises a lot of questions, clearly spotlights an injustice. But I wanted to ask you about what it was like to find out that Ashif had sent that picture to one of your producers.
I mean, I was shocked. I was angry.
Were you? He sexually assaulted that girl and lied about it. Why did you think he had a good character? You idiot. This is the stupidest documentary. Why are they pretending like this guy's not a psycho? He assaulted that girl and he fucking lied about it.
If this was something that happened from a stranger, you would just block the person and never talk to them again. But we're journalists and we were working with Ashif on this. So we reached out to him.
Dude, she's like, I would have fucked him if he wasn't such a creep. Like, I was expecting him to ask me on a date and I was ready to fuck that guy. Like, I was down to bang him. That's probably what she's thinking. And she's like, then he sent a dick pic and I was like, ugh, quite dangerous.
Comment. We reached out to his lawyer. He says he sent it by mistake, which
he says he sent it by mistake.
I think it's up for the viewers to decide whether they believe that or not.
Was it hard to decide whether to use that information or not in the piece?
Yeah, we went back and forth a lot about it because on the one hand, you could argue that it's not relevant to the story of the injustice that Ashif faced at the hands of the state, all of the years of dead time that he served.
So dead time they keep talking about. Basically what they're talking about with the dead time in this documentary. This is actually an interesting point that she's bringing up and it might be overall. You might have a point about it. It's hard to tell. I don't think she presented the data that well, but like the dead time thing is interesting because it's like basically if you're a sex offender and you're done your time, if you don't have a safe place to go, not safe for you, but safe for the community, which is safe for you too, because if you do it again, you will suffer. It's not good to hurt people, even for yourself. Like it's not, he should be in jail. He is basically out, like he basically didn't have a safe place to go. So the prison just kept him in. And that extra time they keep you in is called dead time. And these guys are saying like, this is unacceptable and we have to fight to free the dead time. But to me, that just seems like a standard bureaucratic thing that just happens. You know what I mean? Like that's just that dead time thing. Like like life is complex, you know, not everything's perfect and not everything's so easy and straightforward. And for them to have this hard line, like he deserves freedom. Is he free or not? If this is the day that he's free, then you have to let him go. It's like, no, he's a violent sex offender. So, and we need to put him in a place where there's someone watching him so they can see whether he does it again or not. Like, that's fair, man. It's just a mistake of the system or whatever, or his family or whatever it is. But like, why is this the hill that you're fucking dying on? It's such a dumb documentary.
You know, that's really what our story was about. And his lawyers would argue that, you know, the fact of the dick pic isn't relevant. But we wanted to basically give the full story to our viewers in a piece that's also about what it means to reintegrate successfully and unsuccessfully as someone who's on the sex offense registry. This seemed like, you know, an important fact to note about Ashif, who is a complex person, and this is part of his complexity.
Wow. That is powerful forgiveness.
Our reporters are on the ground.
That's too much forgiveness, though. Like, he should be in fucking jail. She should have called the police and been like, why did you let this guy out? Like, there should be a little bit of that commentary in here, too. Or like dead zone. No, just keep him in. He can't control himself. If he sent a dick pic to them, think about what he's doing to people that are physically close to him. He clearly has maybe some mental health issues. So whatever it is, like, I have compassion for him. I have loving kindness for him. Put him in jail. That's the loving thing to do. Keep him away from the people that he's going to hurt again. And the moral of the story is, you are loved because you are loved. Such is the nature of loving kindness. Okay? So now that I've done my karmas, make sure you do your karmas. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and sign up for meditation. Ascension is upon us, foolish. Sign up for meditation immediately. Ha! Am I still here?